Hey Dale,
Yes, Andy.
what's a big boss man?
Oh boy, he's from Cobb County, Georgia, and he did Hard Times.
So why is a cop or a policeman, as we call them over in the UK, called a big boss man? Is that like a American term?
I, I guess. I really don't know. I mean, he was big. He was a boss. I mean, he was Big Bubba Rogers. So they had
Mm.
to include some sort of wink and nod to when he was down in World Championship Wrestling, right? I would think. He was
Mm.
also a guardian angel.
Well, less said about that, the better. But anyway, we're not here to talk about all them today. We are here to talk about Big Boss Man in the Attitude Era.
It was a reveal. Wasn't that like the last guy you thought about when they actually said, "Here's a new guy in a mask," and then he took it off, and all of a sudden there he is.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what, right? I was just saying to you off camera, wasn't it? It's like I always look at the Big Boss Man in two certain ways, and it's like character development wise, I always think it's really, really good the way they've done the Boss Man. And I don't know whether people agree with me on this or have seen this, but it's like in his first run, he was a policeman in the blue uniform, he had all that, and then it was kind of like he retired and then come back in 98 like private security, which I know a lot of policemen do. And for me, it's like that. It's just a really good extension of that character, and it kept it going after the fact.
It was like full circle, right? He goes from
Uh,
doing his civil service duty, and then he
yeah.
goes to be a 1099 collector there. Yeah, yeah, he goes his own route. And say what you want about the guy. I don't understand why he had the flap jacket. I don't understand why he covered himself up because it made him less it showed him as less form and less size, and he was a big dude. I don't think
Yeah.
people realize how massive of a human being this guy was, and he was probably in better shape here too. But why are you wearing the flap jacket?
Mm.
Because like it's almost like Dog the Bounty Hunter at that point. Do you know who Dog is?
I do know who Dog is, yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like
well, that's
them.
another thing, isn't it? You know, he's could have been a bounty hunter, but he ended up being Mr. McMahon's kind of henchman, didn't he? You know what I mean? Which again shows that he's got into private security from Up Law and Order, which is why I always like the fact that he was a bad guy in his second run because it made so much sense.
They didn't really mention him as a ex cop or police officer, right? Like they just said, "Here's the private henchman." So yeah, they should have had something like he was a personal investigator that turned into, you know, private security. But why was Tess there then? If Tess was literally the bodyguard for Motley Crue, wouldn't that work out as well?
Hmm. I suppose if you've got a big group, you can have a lot of security.
Yeah, but then it's like, do you not trust Test or do you not
Mm.
trust Big Bubba Rogers?
Mm. So what was your kind of highlights of the Boss Man's second run?
Oh, without a doubt. When he came into Big Show's dad's funeral and he had that Blues Brothers truck talking about Big Show's dad is dead. Look at that. And he started dragging Big Show's dad, and then Big Show ended up hanging on the casket too. Watching that live as a kid, I didn't really know what to think because at that point I was exposed to death, the younger, so I understood what funerals were, but I didn't understand that people could just crash them. I thought you had to be invited, but I guess you could just go to whoever.
I think for me was Pepper when he got Al Snow's Chihuahua and fed it to him. That was
Jeez.
another one that is people just don't really remember. And I think probably though, what would you say was the bad part of it?
Oh, geez. The bad parts was probably that kennel from hell match
Oh, yeah, yeah,
where you're literally watching the kennel and like the dogs taking craps, which was pretty synonymous with the actual match itself. They were
uh,
supposed to be trained dogs. So everybody has egg on their face or shit on their face at that point. And then I'd also put out there the lasting image of him and Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match where he got hung.
yeah, yeah. That was really. I mean, even for Vince Russo's WWE in the terms of his writing style, that was really shock TV, wasn't it? It was too far.
If you're if you're killing somebody in wrestling, That's why I never understood buried alive matches too. Killing somebody in wrestling, you have to, and you have matches go on later on.
Hmm.
How do you hide the fact that they're dead and you're bringing them to the back? Because he would come up shortly afterwards and have Bull Buchanan. So the hired muscle has hired muscle that he works with, and B squared ends up protecting him. Or does he just go into a partnership, like a limited partnership, an LP with Bull?
Weird, isn't it? I mean, at least I always say the only people who do deaths well in wrestling is Impact Wrestling, because at least they kill them when they leave. Like that, like
Yeah.
they was, you know what I mean? So at least you're never going to see them again.
Or like
But
be like Matt Hardy with and Jeff Hardy with Vanguard 1 with the drone, just teleport. I think that's a good out.
yeah. Okay. Final question. 80s, early 90s run or Attitude Era run? Which one was better for Bossman?
Lasting. Oh, well, that's bad for us because everybody would probably sit there and laugh at the late 90s with the Attitude Era. But you and I have one favorite match, and the consequences of that match was him versus the Mountie, and the Mountie having to go to jail.
Yeah, yeah.
You want the finger? I'll give it a finger.
I think with Bossman, I think for me is I wouldn't like to pick one because I think he was just consistent throughout whatever he done in WWE or
Yeah.
WWF. You know, I think some people had, you know, different runs at different times and stuff like that. But I feel like, you know, Bossman, when he was in WWE, was always just solid.
They gave him the Hardcore Championship. And not saying that that's a fantastic title, but you were on TV on a very consistent basis with that. So with if they're dedicating the highest rating timing of that show and you're getting screen time constantly, you know you've done something right for the company. And I'm sure Vince also appreciates that too.
Yeah.
And that's why they do that. So we liked the Big Boss Man a lot. And we thought he was a tremendous talent too. And everybody that's interacted with the guy says how awesome he was as a human being and a person.
Yeah. Really sad that he died before his time as well. So R.I.P. Boss man. Thanks, guys. Like and subscribe as always.
And enjoy.
Bye.